Okay, guys, I made two videos. One showing a little bit less expensive kit, and then one selling a little more expensive kit. These two kits will get you your system done in a half an hour, so 30 minutes from start to finish for your testing procedures. So you hook up your outside unit, you hook up your inside unit, you run a line set and connect the two. Okay, get your electrical hooked up with your disconnect, and then testing starts. 30 minutes in and out. All right, with either one of the kits. I just like the heavier duty kit because I like, you know, Tim the Toolman Taylor, the Binford 5000 effect. I want the biggest, the best, and all that. But the other one does fantastic too. So you save $50, $100 if you buy the middle road one. The lowest one is a $100 kit from Amazon with a manifold gauge set. Totally hosey. They don't work. You can make it work. You can think you made it work by using them, but they don't really work. You get a good micron gauge. You get the system the way I showed you. You got a pressure test, and you're all set. All we want is a good install. The point is, we want a good install. Everything matters. The whole system are perfect or not perfect based on the install. It can be the most expensive thing, or you can be a very inexpensive one. But if they're completely ruined without a good install, you need a good install. Okay, and that's what we're trying to do here. Okay, here's the next system. You step it up a notch. It's not that much more money, maybe $100 or something. But anyway, you get half-inch hoses instead, and you can use or the 3/8 or the half-inch. The pump will pull down anything, but you're hindering it when you go down and down and down. So your best bet to use this pump is with a 1 horsepower, 12 CFM dual stage. So it's almost twice as good as a 7, but it does have some features. It doesn't have some features the 7 has. So I'm going to kind of walk you through that now. So that's the kit right here. It's a kit. You can take a picture of that and take it down, and you'll have it all set. So anyway, that's everything you need to get this thing done in 30 minutes or less. Okay? And again, yes, all your testing procedures for your mini split to be able to release the refrigerant into your system is 30 minutes or less. That's the point. We want leak-free and perfect. And this right here, these tools will accomplish just that. So let's walk through them again. So the system here, as it is, it does not have a gas ballast. Okay, I don't know why they don't just give us a gas ballast instead of this thing here, but whatever. We really need another oil fill valve when you can just pop this off and pour it in there. Anyway, it was a perfect spot for that, and the same company puts them out. This one here, I moved the T over to here because they only have a half-inch connection. They have a half-inch connection, and they have a half-inch, quarter-inch connection. They have a quarter-inch connection, and they have a half-inch one we just don't use. It's called a half-inch Acme and connection, and we don't use those. I don't know if I don't even know if they sell products that use these. I don't even know if they have hoses that you could buy to utilize the damn thing. I have no idea what they put them on every system they have. Anyway, maybe they're just from China or something. I don't know. Anyway, the point is you have half-inch hoses, okay? And the half-inch hoses come with a half-inch side, a 3/8 inch side, and then both quarter inches, okay? So that's a little bit different, so we have to kind of work our way through that if you want to double up and get that. So of course you could just do one half-inch hose with the 3/8 and the quarter-inch, and then one of the 3/8 hoses with the 3/8 and quarter-inch. All right, so you could do that, one on each. That would be good, or do again 2 halves, just make it work. So what we did is I put the T on here. That gives us 2 quarter-inch connections. Okay, so that takes care of these 2 connections. All right, if you're using this half. Now I have a 3/8 and a half-inch. So down on this side here, you have the T. I put the T on here, and so then of course you have your micron gauge right there. You have your T right here, and it's set up for quarter-inch again. So it'd be, if these things came all quarter-inch instead of having the other connection, I don't see how it's any better to not do that. Because if it was, then why wouldn't they just put it on both sides? Anyway. So anyway, it's got the connection here. I think the reason they're saying that is because when it goes through our ODU, this right here is a quarter-inch tube. okay, as you can see it. But with the valve core in there, it's only a 3/16 hole with threads on it. So you put your valve core in there and set it at, and when you screw that in, it's like your valve core is like a 3/16 inch bolt, and you're screwing it in. And so it's really actually just like a 3/16 hole. So because of that, that's a restriction no matter what. Even if you had the valve core removed, that's a big restriction. So then again, why would you need to have the 1/2 inch and 3/8 these connections down here? It makes no sense. You should just keep them all 1/4 inch, because it already has that same thing. We're going through the same thing no matter what you do. That's the whole point. Okay, so anyway, doing that, we're back to this again. Let me walk you through it. Okay, as I was saying, so you have your T here, okay, and it has a 1/4 inch on each side. All right, so we're going to put our hoses, the 1/4 inch parts, each side has a 1/4 inch. You can put that down there on this right here. Then on the other side, which has the 1/2 inch and 3/8, if you buy the Navac kit, that's what you're getting. So you can buy individual hoses, but if you're buying the Navac kit, they give you that. Okay, so knowing that, I picked up the adapters that go from 1/2 inch after I have that T on there. So I put the T on the 1/4 inch thing. So the 1/4 inch one's got the T on it, and then they both have 2 1/4 inch things coming out of them. And so what I did, I just put a 3/8 and a 1/2 inch connector on it. Okay, so that takes care of your hoses. So that gives you that hose that gives you the most bang for the buck. All right, that'll be the fastest thing. No human, stand back, Jack. This thing here works like a mother, and it works fantastic. And with the 1/2 inch hoses, you just can't beat it. It's so fast, so good, and double your pleasure, double your fun, double mint gum. All right. So anyway, now we got the same thing. We have the micron gauge and the pressure gauge. Again, you don't need hardly anything for those, and you have your regulator. Again, get that at Temu. They have them for $29. Is it $29? Yeah, $29. It's fantastic. Can't beat that deal. You got to go to Temu and just type in nitrogen regulator, and then scroll through until you find the one that's $29. They have some that go to $400. Don't buy any of those. Buy the one that's $29. I have 4 of them. They're absolutely fantastic. I just want to make sure I didn't have a fluke and just happened to find one good one out of the batch. Nope, I got all 4 and they're all perfect. So anyway, get that one, get that kit. It comes with the yellow hose, so you're set for your pressure testing right there if you get a nitrogen bottle. You should probably just get a 20 cubic foot. This is a 40 cubic foot. It's about 3 foot tall. 20 cubic foot is plenty. That'll do probably 3 or 4 installs. Okay, 20. That's the smallest one they sell. 20 cubic foot. So it'll probably do 3 or 4 installs unless you mess up something. If you got to be searching out a leak and messing around, then it could be only 2 installs. But whatever, they're easy. Just take it right back to the air gas supply wherever you bought them from, and they'll give you a brand new one for $17 or something. And so it only costs like $17 to fill them or whatever it is. Anyway, super cheap. And so anyway, now we're back to this. So back to the flare gun, best flare tool on the planet. This literally can't be beat. I have a video for that. It shows how to do that. And literally 1 minute flares. They're perfect every single time. You use you see there's no handles on it. You use a drill or an impact. It works fantastic. Super quick, super easy, and perfect flares for only $85. Come on, man. I used to tell you to buy this Libration one. It was like $97 or something. And it all manual by hand. It gives you a freaking carpal tunnel, for crying out loud. This thing is awesome, man. Anyway, pick that sucker up. And so anyway, now you're set. You know about the adapters. You can do all that, or you can just stay with 1/2 inch. You pick up a couple of T's and stay with 1/2 inch. It takes a lot longer because the difference between 1/2 inch and 3/8 is marvelous. Okay, let me explain real quickly. I don't want to beat a dead horse here, but remember that video I posted that showed the guy collapsing with a vacuum pump? He collapsed a 55-gallon drum with a normal vacuum pump, and just collapsed and turned it into tin foil. And he tried to do that with 1/4 inch hoses and literally burned out the pump. It never happened. So he went up to 3/8 hoses and it instantly collapsed it within a minute or so. And of course that would be insane with 1/2 inch hoses. So It's just super quick. It's exponentially more volume between half-inch hoses or quarter-inch hoses and 3/8 hoses. I keep throwing the numbers wrong, but these are quarter-inch and 3/8 and half-inch. Okay, so the difference between quarter-inch and 3/8 is insane, and the difference between 3/8 and half-inch is insane. It's a big, giant difference. It's not just a little bit. That's why the price of them is way more. I think they give you these quarter-inch ones free with a fill-up. You stop and you get some gas, they'll give you a couple of hoses. The 3/8 you got to pay, some money for, and the half-inch, you pay quite a bit for. If you buy the Navac kit, it's a Navac evac, quick evac kit. It comes with that, and it comes with a whole bunch of cool stuff. So it has a micron gauge, and it has a couple of valve core removal tools, and it has a T, and it has an adapter. So it has different stuff. So it's cool to have that if you don't have it. Anyway, so this is the kit. Pick this kit up. It's fantastic. It's everything you need to get the job done in 30 minutes or less. So you don't want to mess around. Just get the thing done, man. Don't be using those little girly stuff. $100 kits from Amazon. They don't work. I will put a link to all the tools in the comment section of the video. Okay, the last system I'm going to tell you about is the one with when you do not remove your valve core. The other two can be utilized without removing the valve core too. You just get rid of one valve core removal tool. Okay, so this last one will apply to all of them. If you decide you do not want to remove your valve core, then you can just use a charging valve instead, and it deletes one of your valve core removal tools. Okay, and it's about the same price. The charging valves come in a set of two. You need both, and the one we're mainly using is a 5/16 R410A one, and I'll walk you through that in a second. But the point is, you can use it for all the systems. I'll just go ahead and stay right here without moving all the rest of the tools. You remember what they look like. So I'll just zoom in on that point. Having a charging valve, that's this here, hooked right to your mini split. It already has a 5/16 on it, and it has a 1/4 inch here. So this 1/4 inch here, this thing gets removed, and this is 1/4 inch right here. So this comes off. So the looks like this. Your mini split. Don't need the 5/16 and adapter anymore. That's when you're going to take out the valve core, and you just have 1/4 inch on this side, and it goes right to your charging valve. Okay, and then your micron gauge and your pressure gauge goes right off that, and then you come down here to your hoses. Okay, so you're back to the same thing again, and you guys can use, of course, anything you want, but that is the charging valve that you do not remove your valve core. It's just a perfect little valve for pushing in the valve core. Okay, it pushes the valve core in, so you're able to utilize the entire slot, and then you pull it back out when you don't need to be pushing it in. Okay, so it's as simple as that. It's a wonderful tool, and it's only $12. So if you're only going to buy one valve core removal tool, like $15 or $14.50, that thing's only $12 for those two charging valves. It has the 1/4 inch one and the 5/16 one, and you will be needing the 1/4 inch one eventually as you start playing with your tools. So go ahead and pick them up as a set, and that's perfect. So that's the whole kit. Everything else is exactly the same as I described before. It's just now with the charging valve, this here, you're able to retain your valve core, and you can use that on any of the sets. Okay, you can use that on the cheap $100 kit from Amazon. You can use it on the next step up with the 7 CFM dual stage VEVOR pump, and you can of course use it with the Monster one, the same one. It doesn't matter. All it does is it slows it down somewhat. As we talked about before, your slot here, this is a 1/4 inch tube, but it is made with threads on it that accept the valve core. Okay, so the threads on it, you have their 3/16 threads. So it's really only a 3/16 hole, okay? And then you're pushing in a valve core, which is very small and minute. It's a little tiny pin, and you push it in and out, and it gives you some room. Certainly not as much as a full 3/16, but, it's better than nothing. And it's that way it's not scary on you if you don't want to remove your valve core. Okay? Okay, and no matter what way you decide to go, no matter which kit you decide to go, or you might get an amalgamation of all of them. Who knows? The point is you can choose whatever you want. The choices are yours. But either way, having a charging valve will delete one of the valve core removal tools. You do not need it. And so you'll be going with a single one if you use a charging valve. And a charging valve just allows you to not have to remove your valve core. Okay? It just pushes in the valve core, and you're able to utilize that slot with it being fully pushed in. And then it allows you to be undepressed also. And I have good videos on that showing you how to keep your vacuum with one of these tools, because when you keep a vacuum with a valve core removal tool, it's an awesome setup. Well, this is also, I now have an awesome setup for keeping and retaining your vacuum with a charging valve. Okay, so let me know if you want to see that video, and I'll post it, and you'll be able to utilize that system. Okay, let me again walk you through why this is the system to get. Okay, you're going to see that it costs very little extra money to get the best of the best of all the cheaper tools. So in other words, we can find flare tools that cost way more than $78, a few $100. We can find pumps that way more than $130 or $150, whatever that is now. They're $900 for good pumps. We can find valve core removal tools that are $80 a piece, $90 a piece, whatever. These ones here are $15 to $20 a piece. There's nothing better than these Testo manifold or vacuum gauges and pressure gauges. Nothing better than those. They get the smart app. They work awesome. And so we're talking about, that's it. Now we're talking about whether you want to go to 3/8 hoses, 1/4 inch hoses, or 1/2 inch hoses. And if you use the 1/2 inch hoses, again, you use this system right here. This has a 1/2 inch on the one. This is just a regular T. Okay, that's the T I was showing you before. It's a T with a low loss fitting, and it has a 1/2 inch and 3/8 on it, which these hoses, they come with, one of them comes with a 1/2 inch, one comes with 3/8, and then both the other sides have 1/4 inch. So the 1/4 inch side, you're going to be set up right here at your you're going to have your valve core removed and have the valve core removal tool there, and you have two 1/2 inch ports right there. Or you're going to put this on and have valve core stay in place. Okay, like I said, just a little slower, but it'll still get done, and you don't have to remove your valve core. Just push this in, you push the valve core in with the button, you screw it in, it makes the valve core go in, and you're able to do your testing. Then when you're done, you unscrew this, you're all set. But of course you follow the things I show in the video, how to unscrew that. You don't just unscrew it willy-nilly. Anyway, the point is that's how you take it on and off. And you have that system there. So that's a good way to do it. Now this is here is these 2 3/4. They go from 1/4 inch to 3/4. So you put those one on each side. If you wanted to go 3/8, okay. So you could have 3/8 on that. So in other words, it would go here. You can have the 3/8 on this side or the 3/8 on this side. So if you took this off, that would be 1/4 inch on each one. Okay. If you want to go to 3/8 instead of 1/2 inch and 3/8, you could just add the corresponding ones. Okay. So anyway, killer system, works fantastic. I showed you how it works, and now it's up to you. Get on it. And so I'm going to have 3 different systems. This system, I'm going to have the neck system down, and then I'm going to have the less system, which is just your cheap system you buy from Amazon, and that's $115 or something like that, and you just hope for the best. Because as I said, static air atmosphere is 29.9. And we're hoping to bring that gauge down here where it says -30. Let me just take you over here to this one. Where it shows -30. I have the best of the best valve core removal tools. And, literally the JB, Navac, Apions, it goes on and on. RC Pro, all kinds of them. Anyway, HC Pro even, we got all kinds. We got the whole 9 yards. So the point is, man, they're all destined to the bin pile. Now that I have those ones for $15, I can't imagine utilizing them. I'm going to, of course, carry them with me on the jobs. I have the most killer bags, and it carries all my tools, and it looks bitchin' too. And so it'll just be in there, but unbelievable. When you start getting cheaper and cheaper tools, less expensive tools, but that actually work, man, it makes these expensive tools obsolete. I mean, the last one I bought, I found a really good deal on it. This JB, one for only, I think it was like $40 or $45 or maybe $50. I don't know. But anyway, it wasn't very much, you know, in comparison to $85, you know, for the Apions, you know what I mean? And the Navax and all that stuff. So the point is, I remember even the HC Pro was, I think, $80. I don't know. Anyway, there's a bunch of different brands, and they're all relatively expensive. But man, that's amazing. Yeah, amazing. I don't know what I'm going to use them for. There's no reason to have them.